Yeah, welcome. Hi, everybody. We knew trying to play Thursday night being Halloween, you don't even try it. So, yeah, we've worked.
But you haven't been rained out much this year either, have you?
One night.
That's not bad.
The last night of the regular season. That's why we had to play last Thursday night.
Well, give us the update on how the teams have done this year. How the
All right. What we did this year, we merged the Greensboro Parks and Rec program.
Let's make sure we give you your Halloween treat. Trick or treat for you.
Thank you, sir.
Everybody the same thing, so keep everybody on an even playing field here.
All right. What Greensboro Parks and Rec did this year is we merged with High Point to create what we call red zone football. And we've got 21 teams in Greensboro and High Point, 13 in Greensboro, 8 in High Point, and we had two conferences, the Greensboro Conference, High Point Conference, and we're now in the playoffs for the Greensboro Conference. 3 age groups, 7 and 8 are Pee-wees, 9 and 10 mites, 11 and 12 is midgets. So we're in our playoffs. The semifinals for the mites and midgets are this Saturday morning at J.C. Park, starting at 9:30, and then we're also playing the championship game of the 7 and 8 Pee-wees. It'll be in that game, Lewis Center at 4-2 will play Warnersville Center, which is 6-0, with the winner advancing to High Point on November 16th to play for the Red Zone Championship.
It's a little different this year. You don't play all the championships on the same day then.
No, we don't. We did not want to go. We finished the regular season for the 7 and 8s 2 weeks ago, and High Point's not holding their finals until November 9th. But we didn't want to go 3 weeks without playing a game because we felt like the kids would lose interest.
Starting the season over
again. So we've moved ours up to this coming Saturday at high noon. And then originally we were scheduled to play our other finals on the 9th. But due to the fact we've ended up having to use J.C. Park, the second weekend of November every year is a big Greensboro soccer tournament, so we didn't have access. So we had to move our finals to next Thursday night, and then the semifinals on Saturday will have the first game. The 3 seed is Windsor Center, and the 9 and 10s they're playing Lewis Center, and then the Peeler Center will play Warnersville in the 4-1 game. And the last game of the regular season, Peeler beat Warnersville 12-0, so we've got a rematch, coming up. And then in the midgets, we'll have Windsor Center playing Lewis Center in the 3-2 game, and then the 4-1 game is Leonard Center against Warnersville Center, which is Chris Jeffries. They're 6-0. 209-0. They've not given up a score in 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah. So
name of that team again?
It's the Warnersville Center 11 and 12 team. But they do a great job. They're the Wolverines. They have the Michigan-looking helmet and everything. They do a good job.
Who does all your scheduling? Because that's a lot to keep up with, putting all those games together. Who does all the scheduling?
I do.
You do it all then?
Yeah. And in fact, I worked out the schedule. High Point gave me their base of whenever playing their in-house games. So they play over at the High Point Athletic Complex.
Do you do all their scheduling too for them?
They did their
regular season.
They did their inter-city games, but then I put together everything else. I kind of learned through the years. I had a great teacher in the late Wayne Butler who really taught me a lot about scheduling, and I enjoy it. It's a challenge I've done for several years back in the mid-2000s. I was doing the Colt schedule, so it's a challenge. I enjoy that.
So do you document all on your computer and save stuff from year to year and go back and look at your layouts?
Yeah, and because by keeping a history of everything, we're able to keep up and just kind of fine-tune some stuff. We usually, we'll have a lot of times we'll already have a pattern. We just go in, change the names, put the new dates in, and save it.
Well, you used to finish out that final sheet at the bottom of the champions. You always put Lewis Center for everything, but things have changed a little bit over the years. It used to be the Lewis Center Redskins, the Lewis Center Panthers, I guess, whoever was hot.
And everything now is just straight up Lewis Center Panthers. Lewis Center and Watersville Center was the only rec centers to field all 3 age groups. So in the Red Zone League, we had 2 Greensboro teams and 2 High Point teams in the 7 and 8. So each team we played everybody twice. In the
Coach Davis.
9 and 10s,
yes, sir.
We played everybody once, and then you played a bye game with High Point. And then in 11 and 12s, you played everybody once with 2 non-conference games. So,
okay, tell them get it when they can and be careful. That's for sure. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, I know Andy just got a call. The Dudley players are on the way, but we are in a major storm right now.
We're close as you can get to a rain delay, but it's not going to be a rain delay right now since we're inside, which is a good thing.
Thank God.
And
thank God we're not out at Southeast right now.
Oh, my gosh.
On the rooftop.
We would have to get a couple of paddles and begin to paddle that press box down the highway.
But like I say, we've got the Red Zone Finals on the 16th, and then the winners of the teams that win the Greensboro Championship in the 9 and 10s and 11 and 12. After the Red Zone Finals on the 16th, we'll move into what we called, it'll be the 3rd annual Turkey Bowl over in High Point, which is Greensboro, High Point, Davidson County, and Reedsville.
So you kind of expanded to say include other regions now,
other cities. In fact, we're hoping maybe to pick up some more teams next year on both the High Point Conference, go in the Davidson County some, and then we've had some people talk to us about our youth football program. This year we went to an unweighted weight program, so we'll allow kids of any size to play now, and we're doing it. Our registration fee this year was $50.
That's probably stayed the same, hasn't it, for a little bit?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
But when you look outside at some of these other organizations that's offering football that play just strictly Saturday, they're $125, $150. So I think as the word gets out that Greensboro is offering a no weight limit program, we're going to see our numbers increase, I feel like.
The one thing that helps you guys, at one time, a lot of towns, a lot of areas, they were kind of dropping off and things were kind of being leveled out, losing some talent, losing some players. You guys seem to be growing. You guys made some adjustments that seems to have boosted you guys in growth.
It has. About 4 years ago, we went to 2-year age groups instead of 3-year age groups to kind of help with the size of the kids on the field, and the experience level. It's a growing. We take 2 steps forward, and then it seems like we go 1 step back.
That's not bad.
Because we're still
getting 1 step ahead.
Yeah, but we're still. You still have mom that's somewhat concerned about the young man's concussion situation.
Well, you have some parents probably look at it, I'm going to wait till a certain age for them to begin to play anyway. Some parents say, I've got this one guy, Rod Jones, used to be the QB at Northeast years ago, works for Barrico. He's got a grandson. He tells me, I can't wait to get this guy out there. He's like 8, 9 years old. Let's get this guy playing.
Well, that's the earlier you can start. You really don't want to wait till about 10 or 11 to play the first time, because you want
to be used to it, right?
Yeah, and if you don't pay attention, some of these kids are going to light you up.
Right, even if you're a bigger, older kid.
Yeah, but just because you inexperienced. Yeah, because you're inexperienced.
Yeah, that guy's standing there waiting to see what's going on. You can't be standing there waiting to see what's going to happen. You got to be ready for what's happening next.
One thing that we've noticed this year is you better have your head on a swivel, and I don't care if the ball's on the other side of the field. You better realize, if you're out there and you got on equipment, you better realize somebody's liable to get you.
And your guys are coaching different now, too, because a lot of guys you have coaching now come off these high school teams, college teams. They've been around for a few years. They've got some good background, and they know the sport and probably a little more advanced.
Well, and one of the things, the game has changed. The game has changed. We have gone. Also, we're involved with the USA Football. Program, so we make all our coaches go to USA football training. We certify all our head coaches and assistant coaches.
That's like a preseason seminar.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And we take a lot of time. We try to break things down. This year, by the city going to the unlimited weight, we bought new equipment and new uniforms for every team in our program. athletics now handles
Every team in the program,
Every
new
team in the
equipment, new
program
helmets,
got new.
everything.
Well, we kept a lot of the helmets, but we went for new game patents, new game jerseys. We're in the same. Everybody has the same type of jersey, but we have it in 6 different colors.
Wow.
So it looks good. We got.
You probably get those helmets reconditioned quite often.
We
too,
do.
Right?
Every 3 years, a helmet goes out for reconditioning, and then it's got a 10-year limit on it. So yeah, just like
In 10 years service, it's out of service.
Yeah, it's out of service. You know, when the situation
How do you
came
keep up with something like that? There's a little sticker on the helmet
there's
somewhere?
a sticker inside the helmet,
Yeah.
and we have all that written at every location.
documented
We
too?
have it documented. We have an inventory of what we have, what year it came into service, what year it's been recertified. We take care of all of that because.
Where do you guys buy all that stuff at? Do you buy it on a national level now, or do you still buy locally some?
A lot of our stuff still comes local. The city puts it out for bid.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we've got a couple of good distributors here in town that, that takes good care of us.
That's good. Yeah, that's what you like to have.
Yes.
Especially if they stay with you over the years.
Yeah, and a couple of the guys have been with us. We have a great deal with Dick's Sporting Goods. They are one of our sponsors on all our uniforms. And then there's a couple local sporting good dealers that have been in business for 20 years plus that take real good care of us.
So who works with this along with you? Because you do the scheduling, do a lot of this work on these programs. You're at a lot of the games. Who else is out there on this team with you?
All right. I actually retired from the city 7 years ago today as a full-time employee and came back about a year later. But Phil Harden's our director of the football program.
He's still full-time.
Yeah, he is full-time. Then his supervisor is Austin Holman, who's the athletic director. Austin's done a great job and was really involved in us working with High Point to get this thing worked out. Tyler Cole over at the High Point Recreation Department, Austin's counterpart in High Point has done a great job. His staff's done a great job. Tony Bird is an assistant AD who assists Phil in the football program. And then in her 50th year with us, Miss Virginia Staley has been a employee of ours. It'll be 50 years in this upcoming February. She's retired as the director from Liberty, but she's worked for us and does a great job helping us every day, every night at the ballpark. And then we have about 8 or 9 very good part-time guys that help us every game day. And then we also have, this is the 3rd year we've had a full-time, where we have an athletic trainer for Murphy Warner that we bring to the games to cover us. She has a right, if we think a kid has a concussion, she checks him out and makes a decision on if he can play or not play. And we're very careful about that.
You guys got good coverage all the way around.
We
then.
try to.
Probably
we try to.
That 50 years experience, you probably got close to maybe 200 years experience, all the people combined over there.
Well, I'm in my 42nd year doing tackle football. So, just
that's about 100 years right there.
Virginia, myself, we got a good 90, and then Phil's a good 30. So, like I say, we take a lot of pride in it. It's important for us to provide youth football to the kids.
And you probably see kids out playing these high school games these days that came through the program.
We do, and then you turn the TV on and you see them on Saturdays and
maybe even on Sundays.
Yeah. I remember Keenan Allen playing for Lewis Center.
What about DJ Reader?
DJ Reader never could make weight for our weight program.
Interesting.
But DJ actually played. I remember DJ playing in my youth baseball program when he was 11 and 12 when I was running that. So.
What about TJ Logan? He come through? You remember him by chance?
I think he did, but
maybe out around Northeast somewhere in that neighborhood.
I would think so.
Yeah. What about all these kids coming through? What about this kid, Emmanuel Mosley? You remember Emmanuel back in the day? He's now with the 49ers, picked off that pass from Kyle Allen last Sunday. Did he come through your program?
I don't know. I know, when you have 300-400 kids
Oh,
a
yeah.
year. You really only remember.
And sometimes
one.
they don't stand out at that lower level until they get maybe to the college level. Because
No.
Mosley was good at high school at Dudley, but boy, he just burst on the scene big time at Tennessee, and now with the 49ers, he's a starting quarterback now.
Well, yeah, it's getting it. You get the training from some of your coaches, and they put you in position, and you learn as you go. I mean, even like last week, we were out at Dudley last Friday night, and Rick Powell, who's an assistant coach at Dudley, he was in our youth football program for probably 7 or 8 years, running a program. So we get all our people. You learn a little bit each level you go.
Oh, yeah.
You pick up from your coaches. You learn.
And you got guys like Mr. Edwards, Mr. Stanley, Mr. Bonjour. The fields are named after those guys. Kind of set the standard years ago, didn't it?
You had Mr. Henry Von Durham from the Guilford College community was probably, I would say he had easily 50 years in the program. The late Brantley Edwards probably did 40, and then Jerry Stanley just retired about 2015, and Jerry went back into the early 70s. In fact, a lot of nights on my way to J.C. Park, I cut up Inver Ridge, and I'll see Jerry out, and I'll stop.
I'll give you a name for the old days. His name I remember from Lewis Center back then was Lou Hallow. Remember that name?
I do. I remember Lou. I remember.
Big time
actually,
operator.
he had a son, Todd Hallow, that played baseball back with Rod Elkins and Petey Priester back in the 70s. In fact, I was involved with a Pony League team that went up to Virginia Beach to play, and Todd was one of our outstanding pitchers. Him and Randy Dawes out at Greensboro Day School.
What about switching gears with Don Tilley? What about your top Halloween candy?
I'm a Butterfinger guy.
Butterfinger guy? So let's go back what we've got on our list here.
I heard
number 7.
Yeah.
Number 7 on the list, Butterfinger. If I'm correct. Yeah. Number 7, Butterfinger. Number 1, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Yeah, no, I do not turn them down either.
What about the stickers of the Kit Kats?
I like both of those.
Have you ever had the Sour Patch Kids?
Yeah, and I didn't. That's not.
Didn't care much that?
No.
What about your worst Halloween candy?
The Zagnut bar.
Zagnut, yeah. People, I've heard that. Zagnut, I hadn't seen one so long. It's kind of a furry kind of bar there. Yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah.
What about the bit of honey? Did you like those? That's on the worst list.
That was the type that if you ate it, you had to let it soak in your mouth for a while.
The acquired taste. Yeah.
And
it took a little time.
You had to soften it up before you could chew it.
Did you ever have the wax cola bottles, little wax cola bottles?
I do remember.
Just make sure you're drinking cola, not eating wax.
Yeah,
That's the main thing.
but I do remember there was a little country store on High Point Road many years ago, and we used to ride our bikes up and get that.
What about Ragsdale Grimsley tomorrow night? Who's your favorite there?
Grimsley.
And you expect a good level of competition, good opposition from Ragsdale, though?
Should, but I made a couple notes off what you had on the website because I knew we would talk about this. But the Grimsley running game with Nora and Zealous, they've combined for 2,353 yards, 31 touchdowns. Then Zealous then has another 958 through the air. So I mean, I look for, Grimsley can run the ball and control the clock like they usually do, and their defense does what they normally do.
I told Joe, well, obviously be up to the Ragsdale defense, how well they play. That's the hard part there.
And the other thing, though, Austin Hooker, 17 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He can't have an interception that gives Grimsley a short field because Grimsley usually
capitalizes.
Yeah, very much.
The thing about Hooker, he's thrown 10 TDs in the past 2 weeks, which is pretty good.
Well, he looked good when we saw him against Mount Tabor.
Strong arm.
Yeah.
It's all about the location. Got to improve the location. And he's done that. It seems like.
Yeah, and he seems like he throws everything. He's a fastball pitcher.
Oh yeah, velocity, velo.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of.
Doesn't have a change up.
Yeah. So.
A little floater. What about Dudley at Southwest Guilford? Big game for the Dudley Panthers.
Definitely it is. And you got to forget about last week, and you got to go take care of business. It's one game at a
Every
time
team
now.
I see on all these different levels, you say, what, middle school, maybe high school, college, pro, everybody's saying 1-0. That's what one game week right
Well,
now. Just
but
one
right
game.
now in
1-0.
that situation in that league, you can only go one game at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got 4 really good teams. And I'm not sure how many playoff berths come out of the league.
Probably about 3, possibly 4.
But you can't. You got to take care. You got to take care of what you can control. You win your game. You can't worry about anybody else's game.
Heads up, NC State at Wake Forest Saturday. Who you like there?
Wake Forest.
What about Virginia Tech at Notre Dame?
I want to see. I hope that Mr. Hooker can play, but I kind of think that'll be Notre Dame's going to be
Tough place to play.
Yeah, and then after getting beat like they did last week.
And if it's kind of cool and kind of cloudy
Yeah.
and kind of dark in the month of November, it's like you're playing out in the shadows out there. What about Virginia, North Carolina? Wahoos and Tar Heels Saturday night.
I heard Joe talking, and Virginia is playing very well, and you don't know which week it's going to be for Carolina. I mean, they play very competitive games. In fact, I thought one of the most entertaining games I watched all year long was that 6 overtime game with Tech. I mean, that was just a lot of fun to watch. So that'll be a toss-up, and it'll be interesting.
Might have to go with the home team again.
Yeah.
Especially coming off these recent wins he picked up.
Oh, they're doing a good job. He's changing the culture down there.
And plus, they're going to be painting the bell after the game as one. They're going to move the bell away from the goalpost, those things in the future with Duke. Tennessee at the Carolina Panthers on Sunday. Panthers need a win to get back on track.
Yeah, that should be a good game. Carolina needs to win that game. Yeah.
What about high school coach of the year in the county up to this point?
I kind of agree with Joe about Coach Bates out at Northeast, and they've done a real good job. We had the opportunity to see them early back in late August, but also Coach Brown has done a great job, and then I was reading a little information you had out last week. Coach Brown's brother's down at Providence Grove, so coaching runs in that family.
CK Siler's got to be beaming.
That's a family business.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Player of the year so far?
Right now, I'd have to go with Nora, but that can change.
I still might go with Zealous, to be honest with you, because of the offensive numbers from the passing and the running and then leading the team. But hey, that's just me.
Hey, like I say, you can't go wrong with either one of them.
What about most surprising team? You like the Northeast numbers there too?
Yeah. And I will. And the two disappointing teams to me have been, of course, Page, and then I really thought Northern Guilford would
do a little bit more.
Well, we saw them early. They got manhandled by Grimsley, but still, I just thought they
still got room for redemption. If they could just win this week and then when they get Western Alamance, they could really maybe make that end of the season surge. Don, excellent work tonight.
All right.
We'll see you at a dry location tomorrow night, we hope, over at Jamison Stadium.
Yes, sir.
And we got our